So CoryxKenshin is currently going viral on the internet, and it's for all the wrong reasons. So if you guys don't know CoryxKenshin, he is a popular YouTuber, and he is known as being a good guy with good content. That's his brand, that's his forte. You never really see CoryxKenshin in beefs, you never see CoryxKenshin in weird scandals, because he is a genuine person who many is described to have a good, clean record. However, recently, one of his exes has come with a expose thread claiming that CoryxKenshin was a bad partner to her, how he treated her like garbage, and a bunch of other things that she shared. Whilst all of it seems like it's just typical relationship, back and forth toxicity, things of that nature, literally none of our business. Both of them had their own faults and things of that nature. A lot of people on the internet seem to have tried to magnify the situation into a much bigger thing. You know, they have tried to say CoryxKenshin SA'd the woman, and she came out saying that no, he didn't SA me. And shout out to her, she came out later on saying that, you know, she didn't mean for it to blow up into a negative way and things of that nature. But obviously, it's BS. I mean, come on, why else would you make an expose thread exposing one of the biggest YouTubers, making all these claims like he was emotionally abusive to you, he was a liar, saying that he was a man of God? He's not really a man of God. He's emotionally impactful to your life and he hurts you, this and the third. Why else would you make all of that content and then turn around and tell us that you didn't want any drama? Clearly you did, Miss Madam. So don't come here saying, acting like an apology is going to do you justice. You literally went on a reputation destroying arc, and it's not cool. Now, as you're the viewer watching this, what's the message you can take away from this? You know, what can you possibly learn from CoryxKenshin and his ex-girlfriend? Well, we see in this situation that CoryxKenshin, as nice as he is, and as much as he's changed and grown since he's been with this woman, has a past. It may not be anything too damning, or it may not be anything too terrible, but we can see that in someone's eyes, he is the villain, and that is his ex-girlfriend's eyes. Whether she's genuine about it or whatever it is, that's her business. But you can see that even the most good people have moments when they do bad things. I think one thing a lot of humans need to understand is that we as human beings will always fall short. We will always have moments in our lives where we do bad things. And we'll have moments in our lives where we are the villain in other people's stories. Me? A villain? There's no way. I'm such a nice person. X, Y, and Z, this, that, and the third. Well, spoiler alert, you probably are a nice person. And you probably learned a lot from your past experiences. However, there's still somebody who's still stung by your actions, and that makes you the villain in their story. Now, I don't believe that if you're the villain of someone's story, that doesn't mean you're the villain, period. I think human interaction can always have misunderstandings of what someone intended to do or was actually done. And in CoryxKenshin's case, yeah, it was not a good thing that he did. It was not good that he apparently sent his friends to go and look out for her. It was not good that he didn't react when she had stage something cancer. It was not cool the way he would not treat her the nicest of way, or if he cheated on her. Whatever all of this is, it was not cool. But we can see CoryxKenshin doing better for himself now. And that's the thing. Even if you're doing better for yourself, even if you're doing good for yourself, even if you're working to improve yourself, you can still be seen as the villain in somebody's story. Doesn't matter how much improvement that you've done in the past few years, somebody is still affected by your actions. And in this case, someone is constantly sitting there watching, waiting for their revenge. That's just life. That's how it is. So the moral of the story is, you guys, you got to remember, wherever you go, put your best foot forward. Yes, it's your past. Yes, it doesn't matter it was how many years ago, but that can still mean something to somebody. What you did could still have an impact on that individual. And at that point, you can't degrade what they felt, because I'm pretty sure there's things that you have felt years ago, whether it be by your parents or an ex-friend or an ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend. The same way you harbor negative feelings for something that they did to you, that's the same way someone else is harboring negative feelings towards you for something that you did. Even though that you've improved, even though you've done things X, Y, and Z, that's how it is. Your actions, every single action you do has a consequence. Even if you think it doesn't, it has a consequence. And we're all the villains in someone's story. And because we're all the villains in someone's story, That leads all of us to on the understanding that we should have mercy on other people. We show kindness and understanding for other people that are trying to do better. Because some of us are not going to stay the villain forever. Some of us are actually going to learn from our mistakes. And some of us are actually going to grow, develop, and mature. And there's going to be people who's trying to hold you back. There's going to be people who are offended about what you did. But they don't have the right to hold you back from your self-improvement. But neither do you have the right to just ignore the ill-ish that you did, which is why you should always be accountable to what you did to somebody. You should always put your best foot forward. And you should always acknowledge that you were the villain. Don't be sat up there like a hypocrite thinking that you've never done that, or it could never be you. It could be any of us. It's been me many times. Many times I've done well for my life, but I've still done some bad things to people in the past. And whilst I regret it, that was my past. They can't stop me from growing to who I'm becoming. So I'm going to say to you guys is this: keep growing, keep improving, keep doing better. But understand you're the villain in somebody's story, and that could come to bite you back. And even if it doesn't come to bite you back, count yourself lucky and always be repentful and sorry for what you did. Heck, if you could even make amends to people in the past that you know that you offended, I'd encourage you to do that. We've all damaged people, and all had someone damage us. Let's make sure that we're doing our part to do better for people, whether it be people of our past or people of our future. We've got to do better. We've got to be aware of how flawed us human beings are. We've got to be aware that we are capable of all kinds of evil things. None of us is more bigger than the program. None of us is more greater than the other person. We all have our ish to hide. So the last thing you should be sat there thinking is that your ish doesn't stink. Because I guarantee you, all of us have it. Different degrees to another. Some people have been straight up villains. I guarantee this is a lot of things I did that none of you guys would ever dream of doing. But the fact is, there's still something that someone was offended by, and that's you. You gotta own that. Now, individual watching this, don't you dare sit in the corner of your room reminiscing about all the bad things that you did, feeling bad and sorry for yourself. If you knew better at the time, you would have done better. However, you didn't know better. Hence why it's called self-improvement, my nigga. You didn't know before. That's why you're improving yourself. That's why you're holding yourself accountable and doing better. You wouldn't need to do better if you knew the better at the time. So don't beat yourself up. Yes, you did bad things. And yes, it was bad of what you did, but you didn't know any better. Guarantee now, if you were to be put in the same situation, you wouldn't have handled it like that. That's why I'm saying majority of us humans aren't bad people. We just do bad things based on our capacity and what we know at the time, based on the knowledge and the emotional intelligence that we have at the time. And if we don't have a certain level, that means we're going to respond in ways that we think is okay, but really it's not okay. Which is why it's important to understand that we are all trying. Which is why it's important to understand that you are only human. And for you to expect yourself to be perfect or the humans to be perfect is such an arrogant thing to think. We're all trying our best, and we're all not going to be at the same stages at the same time. So let's be patient with each other and understand that any of us could be in this. I'm glad that it was CoryxKenshin, not for the fact that his reputation is being spoiled, because obviously most people can see through the BS, you know. Whilst some of the things that she's saying is true, doesn't mean that it's now makes him worthy to be cancelled as of now. It's relationship stuff. This stuff kind of happens all the time. Relationship back and forth. It's a normal thing, you know. But I'm glad it's CoryxKenshin for the simple fact that he is a good YouTuber. He's a very genuine person, and he still is a genuine person. This doesn't take away from his goodness, but people need to see that even the greatest and kindest of YouTubers have a past too. Everybody has a past. I'm glad it was him to be used as the example, not because of anything to be damaged to his name, because it's an example for people to see that even he is growing as well. Nobody's just born perfect. Nobody's born knowing everything. It happens like that. We all mess up and hurt someone in the past. You know, that's just the reality of it. That being said, my people, what are your thoughts or opinions on this situation? Do you think CoryxKenshin is innocent? Do you have any experiences where you've been the villain in some of the story? I'd really love to hear what you guys have to think. And with that being said, God bless, take care, and I'll see you guys next video.